Welcome to the AutosportRadio.com 2019 show. I'm your host, Don Kay. We are live from McGilvery Speedway at 30th and High School in the beautiful town of Speedway, Indiana. Tonight's show is presented by Honda HPD, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the NTT IndyCar Series, and SVRA. A couple of things to mention. First thing are the lovely server in this front area, and just a real starlet, Megan, has a birthday tonight. Happy birthday. Oh boy. All right. How many watched the Toronto race? How many liked the Toronto race? How many liked the winner of the Toronto race? How many liked the runner-up in the Toronto race? Next up is the IS Iowa 300. It will be live on NBC Sports Network at 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday. And while you're there, you may want to take a tour around the facility because Gary Munshine and the Classic Racing Times Vintage Cars will be on site. We have a good number of cars there. You'll enjoy that one for sure. In case you didn't hear the announcement, Sage Karam and Connor Daly will be driving for Carlin this weekend in Iowa. Sage will be in car number 31 and Connor will be in car number 59. Next week, Phyllis, next week my guest will be a rookie. Two reasons. It's his first year in IndyCar and it'll be the first time here driving for the Arrow Schmidt-Peterson team with his teammate, the mayor of Hinchtown, Marcus Erickson, will be here. And joining him will be somebody's favorite, and I can't think of what her name is, but her favorite, Jack Harvey, will also be here, driving for Meyer Shank Racing. Do you happen to need to see a dentist? Let me recommend the best in the area. The Indy Dental Group, Dr. Jack Miller and Dr. Liz Lewis have a phenomenal practice. If you get a chance and you need it, call them for an appointment. I'll guarantee you'll be happy. The number is 317-846-6125. And if you are a bike owner or know somebody who is, bike night is Wednesday night in McGilvery. Starts at 6 o'clock. Bring your bike out, line it up in front. They save the spaces. And have a good time, and you can tell stories to other bike riders. You'll enjoy yourself. Now, my first guest. First off, I'll say it afterwards. My first guest is a young man who started his broadcast career on AgDay.
Why do you keep bringing that up?
Well, let me finish. From that start, he got into motorsports, is probably still the most recognizable face and voice in all of the sport, and he has just finally been inducted into the Indianapolis Motor Sports Hall of Fame. Please welcome Mr. Bob Jenkins.
Thank you.
That's why I said it.
You'd be going from farm broadcasting to the Hall of Fame, huh? It's quite a reach.
You know, I was kind of surprised that it took as long as it did. I thought you should have been in some time ago, but what's it mean for you to be in the Motor Speedway Hall of Fame?
Everything. It wasn't a lifelong dream because I never dreamed that I would be in such a position, but it is the most important honor that I have ever had or will ever have, and I just still find it rather hard to believe. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I thank so many people that voted for me and allowed me to get in, and for those of you who didn't vote for me, thanks anyway. But truly, it's a great honor. I just got word yesterday that the North Carolina Motor Sports Association wants to give me an award this coming January. But like I say, I appreciate all of them, but none of them will ever reach the level of the IMS Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Do you miss the broadcasting? Now you're out at the Speedway in May, and you're out there a couple other times. Do you miss the racing, broadcasting?
Not really, no. Sometimes I do, but only because I remember the good times at that place, but no, I wouldn't want to go back to it full time. I did commit myself to go to Gateway, which is coming up in the latter part of August. I'm going to do public address work there, but that's within driving distance. And I want to avoid anything that comes close to a venue that I have to fly to, because that just isn't my thing. One thing, I'm too old to fly because of my hip and other parts of my body that don't seem to work. And secondly, I heard so many horror stories, and I lived through a few of them back then, but I think there are more now that your flight is canceled, or your flight has a mechanical problem, or your flight is socked in because of weather. So no, I don't miss going to the red.
That from a retired employee of Southwest, I might add. What are some of the highlights of your broadcasting career? I mean, you were at ESPN when they first kicked off and wanted to get into motorsports. And I mean, you've been with NASCAR, you've done IndyCar, you've done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, when the ESPN thing started in '79, again, I had no idea that it would lead to a permanent job, because everybody was saying that a 24-hour sports cable network just wouldn't work. And it did, and I was glad, because in it I was able to do just about all kinds of racing. Of course, we started with sprints and midgets, and I then was asked to start doing off-road racing, which I knew nothing about. We did drag racing, we did just about everything, including Formula One. Sir Jackie Stewart was sort of the anchor announcer back then, and when he would go on holiday, I was asked to step in for him. And so that allowed me to go to several European locations and enjoy racing there, including and most especially Monza, which of course I was always infatuated with because of the fact the Indy cars ran there in '57 and '58. But it allowed me to do many things. NASCAR was something that I was asked to do, and again, I knew very little, if anything, about NASCAR, because IndyCar racing and open-wheel racing had always been my love. But as time went on, I got to work with two of the best people that I've ever known, especially Benny Parsons. I will always be grateful to ESPN and NASCAR for allowing me to work those 14 years, most of which were worked with Benny Parsons, who just was the finest person I've ever met in my life, and I miss him every day. I really do. There's something that happens just about every day that makes me think of Benny Parsons, because he was such a great guy. And then, of course, yes, and his birthday was this past week too. So then, of course, ended with the IndyCar series, and loved that. But I knew it was time to retire, because I was 65 and could, and of course Pam was ill at that time, and so I'm glad I retired at the time that I did, but I have very many cherished memories working all kinds of races down through the years. The most, of course, was the 1992 Indianapolis 500, in which I was the so-called voice of the 500 and got to call the closest finish in history. That was the topper above all.
I think of Benny quite frequently, because one of the things he did, you told me and told us, is when he traveled, he had 2 pair of socks, 2 pair of shorts, and 14 shirts.
That's right.
His saying was 1 meal, 1 shirt. I got the same problem.
I know what you mean. So do I. But seriously, that was his favorite saying, and it applied to just about every meal that he ever ate, because he'd get a little bit on him.
I got to mention something. I'm very privileged, I think, to have. Last week I had a Hall of Famer, Mike Lewis from Schumacher Racing, is in an NHRA Drag Racing Hall of Fame. Tonight we have Sprint Car Hall of Famer Eldon Rasmussen, the mouth of the funeral homes. Broadcasting, Howdy Bell. The Motorsports Hall of Famer has saved more lives probably than anybody else. Bill Simpson is here.
And the current voice of the 500, Mark James, is also in attendance with us tonight.
I was about to introduce you and then say the future Hall of Famer Mark James.
That's right, yes.
And he's too young to be in yet. He's got to get a little more.
Oh, yeah, he's got to be seasoned.
A couple more miles. You were on the IMS Radio Network from I think, 79 to 98. You were on there for a long time.
Yeah, and then I went back and did a few races after I retired because I didn't have anything else to do, and Wally Levitt wanted me to, so I was a pit reporter, which was not my cup of tea. I was not comfortable in that situation. Plus, they finally found a driver's suit that fit me, a fireproof suit that fit me, but it didn't fit me for very long because I soon grew out of it and didn't look real pretty on pit lane. So, but again, that was an experience that I cherish.
Speaking of broadcasting, I don't know how many of you have noticed, but there is a pit reporter who is the son of a reporter. He's a midget driver on occasion. He is a local boy who's made good. He now lives with the elite down, I think, in North or South Carolina. And I'm talking about the pit reporter, Dylan Welch. And strangely enough, his grandma and grandpa are sitting here, and she offered me $50 to mention it. So
I'm telling you, I speak the honest truth when I tell you that he is doing a fantastic job. And he has moved up quicker than anybody I know of, a lot quicker than I did. So I think he's got a great future ahead of him. I just think he does a tremendous job.
He does, and I'm going to send him a suggestion of who he can replace full-time all the time, but that's another story. What have you done since you've gotten out of the mulch business? What do you do daily?
I sit around and watch other people lay down mulch.
I see.
I had these huge bushes, I don't know what else to call them, out in front of my house. There were 4 of them on the side of my house and 5 of them in the front. And they were just horrible looking, plus they grew at an incredible rate that I couldn't keep up with them. So Monday morning, I heard a noise outside, and there was a front loader, I guess is what you would call it, and it was so cool watching them because they brought that thing in, and they put the claw on the bush and just ripped it right out, and oh man, made me very, very happy. But now some mulch has got to be laid down, but being a Hall of Famer, I don't do that anymore. I pay to have it done.
You now have a staff that handles those things?
I wish I could say yes, but that...
Well, I know one staff member you don't have. If I want to invite you, I ask you. I don't have to go through your PR agent.
That's right.
And when I said something to you, I think it was today, I was almost dropped my phone. You answered so quick. I thought, geez, would I wake you up, or were you watching the news?
No, the deal was you texted me, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I can sit in my house for however many hours I'm awake and all the time I'm asleep and nothing happens. And at that time, I was in a text fest because you were the third person that I was texting with at that very moment. And that just doesn't happen. So I'm glad I got to you quickly.
You surprised the hell out of me, I'll tell you that. Who have you found in your career that the drivers, particularly IndyCar in this case, and NHRA, are easy to approach, easy to talk to, and are fan-friendly?
Absolutely. I don't think it was that way a few years ago. I remember one person who, of course, name I won't use, but if he had an appointment to be somewhere and he didn't show up, it was just nothing to him. And I think we have definitely grown out of that. I think the drivers understand that they are being paid by the people who are at the races and enjoy the races, and they should pay them every courtesy that they are asked to do. And I think that Dan Weldon was one of those who started that trend. I will never forget the way he acted around children and really anybody that wanted an autograph or wanted a picture taken. And if he possibly could, and this was 99.9% of the time, he would accommodate the fans. So I'm very, very glad that the drivers are the way they are these days. And I think that will only help in the future as we continue to grow IndyCar racing from what it once was.
Well, I've heard on several occasions that sometimes people don't show up for the appointments that they supposedly have to be interviewed or be on air, but it's not that often, and it's usually the same people that it happens to. But for the most part, and I agree with Dan Walden, I went out when he did his test, I think it was with Panther if I'm not mistaken. I went out there just to see him, and I sat in the wall and I listened when he got out of the car and talking to the engineers, and I said, this guy gets it. He knows where he is and he understands what he's doing. Yeah. So I invited him to come on the program, and he said sure. Didn't know what he was getting himself into.
I think I was there for the very first time that he was on this show. I think I was on the bill also.
You may have been.
Yeah.
And when I put it up, Dan Weldon, who the heck is that? I said, you wait. You just wait. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, to the last time I talked to him at Vegas where he lost his life, I talked to him in the morning. He said, I'm back, Big Don. Yeah. Really? What are you doing? I just signed a contract with Andretti Autosport. I'm back. Full-time next year. I said, great. Big smile. He was all bouncing. Well, unfortunately, it didn't come to pass, but his name is still well-known, and people still respect him, and at Pro-Am he draws a pretty good crowd.
There are times, of course, when drivers simply can't be or don't want to be bothered. And I understand that if you're moments away from starting a big race, or if you are thinking about what's going to happen on that particular day, or if you have just suffered an unfortunate circumstance in the course of the race, I understand that drivers sometimes don't want to be interviewed, but for the most part, that's a rarity these days, and I applaud the drivers for being so good with the fans.
Yeah, it's amazing now. In the past, as you mentioned, somebody had a shunt or they had a problem, they wouldn't talk to you, but now pretty much they do. If you got a question, what happened, who did what to who, or I think I understand Takuma Sato has bought some boxing gloves, and I think he bought a pair for Sebastian Bourdais as well, just in case.
Well, when I saw that, I thought, why does Sebastian pick on somebody his size? Trying to beat up on this little guy that.
Yeah, but I think Taco was the one that started. He came running over to him, and then it's funny to watch these two guys that got a helmet on. How much damage can you do with a helmet on?
Take a swing at your foe and break your hand. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, can you imagine PT on that one on Sunday? Say, well, he can't be in a race. Why? He hit Sebastian on the helmet and broke his hand.
Wasn't that Robert Wickens lap cool? My goodness. Oh.
It's amazing what Arrow has done. To think of Sam Schmidt, who can't move his arms, can't move anything, but he can drive a car with the movement of his head. When you start thinking you want to accelerate, which way you go, how do you turn? I mean, you can only make so many moves, and he's got them all figured out how to stop, how to accelerate. It's amazing what Arrow has done and is continuing to do, and making vehicles that people who normally couldn't drive now can.
Yep. And I think the line of the whole thing was when his fiancée said, "Don't do anything stupid."
Yeah. You could tell, I think, by the look in his face, he can't wait to get back.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many times she'll say to him, You're going to do something that stupid? Get back in an Indy car? But I bet he does.
I hope so.
And it's amazing the progress he is making. It's amazing to see. And, of course, he said he's getting married in September, and his goal is to be able to walk down the aisle. That would be something. I don't know about dancing, but maybe. How do you see racing these days? Is racing like any?
I have to have my glasses. There's no question about that. But okay, I understand. Well, I've been saying this for 10 years, but I think NASCAR is on the decline and IndyCar is on the incline. It's moving rather slowly, but I can't believe sometimes the lack of attendance at some NASCAR races. I mean, it's got to be embarrassing for the Speedway and for NASCAR. And the one thing I really can't understand, is the Brickyard 400 being moved to September to get people out of the heat. So next year they will be sitting in what could be the warmest weekend of the year. But I have my theory on that, and that is that the attendance isn't going to grow or shrink in any case. So why not have it the hottest weekend of the year? But get back to your question. Yeah, I just can't help but think that with the racing that we have had this year and last year as well, I just can't help but think that the sport is growing. It is growing for several reasons, one of which is what we talked about a few minutes ago, and that drivers are becoming more visible and they are becoming known by the public a lot more because of NBC's commitment to do pre-race shows and so on and so forth. And the NASCAR situation, I don't know exactly what's going on because I don't think their racing is any worse or better than it has been for the last 20 years, but still the attendance continues to slide, and so does the TV ratings. Not that IndyCar has great TV ratings itself, but they are losing viewers, and I really can't understand that.
Well, somebody told me one of the reasons that they stopped watching is when he gets up to go to John, they stop the race. And having 3 different segments of the race makes no sense. I mean, if you're going to go out and race 400 miles, run. Go.
Yeah, there's several things that I don't like about what they're doing. I don't like the stage racing. I don't like the lucky dog. I don't like the green-white checkered, and I probably am in a minority, but I just think that is a ruination of the way that we have known motorsports for all these years. It's not the Daytona 512 or 525. It's the Daytona 500. When 200 laps are over, the race is over. But I think a lot of people disagree with that, but that's the way I feel.
Well, I agree.
I don't have a problem with stopping the race, as has been the case at the 500 for a couple of times. I don't have a problem with that as long as they run the exact race distance that it was advertised. I'm fine with that.
I agree. Stop the race. So if you got 10 laps to go, race 10 laps, not go 9 laps and then green, white, checker. And I think that I just forgot his name. Kyle Novak is aware of that in his team, and I think that's smart. They stop it. So I go along with that. I don't mind. I'll wait a few minutes, get the full 500 miles in 200 laps. Do you follow any of the short track races anymore?
No, I don't. Every year I look at the Indiana Sprint Week schedule and I say, I got to go to a couple of those, but it never has happened. I did so just the other day, and I probably would be interested in going to Terre Haute and Lincoln Park because they're close to where I am now, but I don't know. I guess I'm lazy and I just haven't done it. But I do follow other motorsports, and I'm a Formula One fan, and I know the races are horribly boring most of the time, although there was at least one this year that I thought was great, and I didn't think that last week's was too bad.
Yeah,
But I do know that it's dominated by one team, and they're going to finish first and second, and it's just up for grabs for everybody else.
well, at least it's changed. When Michael Schumacher drove for Ferrari, he was the winner.
Yeah.
Now it's switched to Lewis Hamilton, and he's the winner.
And I really don't like these penalties they're handing out. Let them race, for heaven's sake. If nobody gets hurt, no harm done. Come on. I hope IndyCar doesn't go to that. I just hope and pray that doesn't happen.
Well, you notice that they haven't called a lot of penalties.
I know.
And I love to listen to Paul Tracy. He said, well, they're going to review. He said, it's a racing. They touched. He said, hell, I did that.
Yeah.
And worse. Actually. Something that I saw, and I'm sure you picked up on it or saw it, and most people did, they showed the new car, the new design. And as many times as I ask, is there going to be a halo? No. Guess what's on the car? A halo. Yeah. Oh, boy. I don't know why they want to, because the people I talked to said, that's crazy. That's not the way to go. It's not going to help, blah, blah, blah. So what is IndyCar going to do? Put a halo. Of course, it's called an aero screen, but...
I have mixed feelings about it. If one life can be saved because of some safety factor, then I want that. But, I'm not sure that it can work in testing. It can work all other places, but in some cases it may not work. And besides that, I mean, how many times have we seen anybody injured or worse than that by that kind of a situation? Very, very few. And so let's not pull our hair out because of something that might or might not happen again.
Well, I think all the drivers I've talked to, when I say, "Do you feel safe in the car?" Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
Now you mean?
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
When Eldon was building cars out of aluminum, I wouldn't have felt too comfortable about that, but that was what they knew.
Well, that Formula One halo, I think, is silly. First of all, how do the drivers, and we talked about this when I was here several weeks or months ago, and that's this thing right in front of them. How do they look around that and maintain their perspective on what's going on? And it looks stupid, too. Might as well close the cockpit.
Well, that's what Don Schumacher thought was a good idea, and he did.
That's drag racing, though.
Yeah, I know. Do you follow drag racing at all?
I watch it if I stumble onto it. As long as Jerry Springer and a few other people aren't on TV, then I'll go to drag racing, yes. I got MAV TV now, too. But that's a big disappointment to me.
Yeah, I agree. I turned it on last night, and there's this muscular thing, massive. And it said King of the Ring.
King of the Cage, yeah.
I waited for that, and I said, you got to be kidding. The two guys that were fighting didn't weigh 110 pounds.
Yeah. I don't know what that has to do with motorsports, but at least we get the Chili Bowl. That's almost worth the price of admission.
Yes, and some of the sprint car races stuff are okay, but
yeah, right.
I'm not a big fan of it either. Well, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come here. I know that I am joined by everybody here and everybody listening. Congratulations on getting elected to the IMS Hall of Fame.
Thank you. And it's always fun coming here because of you guys. It really is. I love coming here. I love seeing all of you. So if I don't get too busy doing other things, I'll come back.
Really? Well, I know you're going to be busy, filling in the holes with these bushes.
Yeah, the bushes were, yeah. Right.
Are you going to replace them with anything that grows?
Much smaller and, much.
And you will speak to the nursery. They don't grow rapidly, do they?
No. No maintenance. That's my philosophy. No maintenance.
Well, thank you for being here, as always. And it's always a pleasure to hear you. Thank you. Bob Jenkins.
Thank you.
One of the things I need to remind you is if you're going to go to Gateway, and Bob will be there, on August 23rd, 24th, you will also see the Vintage Indy Race Registry. They'll be there at the WWT Raceway at Gateway in Madison for the second annual edition of the Open Wheel Icons. The vintage cars will share the oval with the NTT IndyCar Series over the Bommarito 500 weekend. Over 25 legendary cars are expected in the fan-friendly Speedway Motorsports Museum of the American Speed Vintage Indy Paddock. So the entries include the number 672 Olsen Eagle of Bobby Unser, the 5679 Genesee Bear Wagon of the Penske PC7, and the number 1 1983 A.J. Foyt Calumet Farms March Cosworth. Several former drivers will be there, and it'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you get over there to the race and also go over there and check out the Vintage Indy Registry cars. Is it time for you to get insurance? Do what I've done, what a lot of people have done. Go and see Mike Pardee at VP Insurance at 5004 West 16th Street in the beautiful town of Speedway. If you've got a home, a car, or commercial property you need insurance, give him a call, make an appointment, let him help you. He's helped everybody, he can help you. 317-248-0070. And if you want to see what these guys and gals on occasion love about IndyCar racing, you got to go to IndyRacingExperience.com, pick out a date, give yourself a ride in the car, and in the promo box put SJ1, you get a 50% discount. So take a ride in a two-seater IndyCar, you'll love it. My next guest is a young man who is a rookie in 2 places, IndyCar and also here. I've never met him, but I'm going to now. He is the member and driver of the number 10 NTT Data Honda for Chip Ganassi Racing. He's doing one heck of a job, and he's giving his teammate a run for his money. For the first time here, please welcome Mr. Felix Rosenqvist.
Thank you.
I've never met you before. I see you brought your staff with you.
Exactly. Some guys here with me, bringing down the average age a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You are bringing. He was talking about me, not you kids. What got you started in racing?
Actually, it was skiing.
It's the same thing, yeah.
So being from Sweden, that was the way I started, in the mountains, doing slalom, and then I had a friend who had a go-kart, and that's the way it all took off. So yeah, it was skiing first, and then I did both for a while, and then it was just motorsport.
Did anybody in your family ever race besides you?
No. A lot of them skied, but no one did any motorsport.
Yeah, coming from Sweden, I would say skiing is probably... and you're a hockey fan?
Not really. That's Marcus Eriksson, the other Swede. He's more of a hockey fan.
I thought maybe you like hockey as well. I know Eric does, or Marcus does. You raced in Europe. You won championships in Europe. You were in a number of series and did very well. What prompted you to come to America? Other than maybe a phone call from Chip.
Well, I think we had the conversation pretty early on, actually 3 years ago with Chip. After I did Indy Lights, we had a couple of tests that went really well. Actually, at this time of the year, 2016, after Toronto, I had a test at Mid-Ohio. It went really well, but then I had some other things going on in Europe, and then came Formula E, which I did for 2 years. But then, the talks came again early last year, and made me think, do I want to do this? Do I want to take the opportunity? And, Chip Ganassi Racing is a very special team, and, everyone who's been at the team, at the shop, or has followed the sport for a long time knows that it's an opportunity you don't want to turn down. I think also it was the challenge of going to IndyCar with the ovals and, faster cars and all that you have. I really wanted to challenge myself and go away from the let's say the comfort in Europe and try something new.
Do you find racing here different from racing in Europe in that the fans have access to you, they want to see you, they want to talk to you, they want a picture with you, they want your autograph? Were you used to any of that kind of thing in Europe?
Actually not. I think it's cool to have fans that know the sport so well. That's something really new for me, especially here at the 500. When people come up to you, they know the history of the sport, they know what I've done, they know about the cars in a different way that sometimes when I race in Europe, I think people were just there to, because everyone else were there, and not really because they love the sport. So it's really cool. I love meeting people that care about the sport, because I'm a race fan myself, so it's always more fun and interesting to talk to the fans that way.
When you're not in the car, who do you watch, or what do you watch? What kind of racing do you watch?
I think mainly I watch, Formula One. That's always been the thing I followed. I follow Formula E and Formula 3, Formula 2, basically all around all the series that I grew up driving. Also follow rallycross, a bunch of things, anything that's on TV really.
What was it like driving Formula E? Now the cars look very similar to Indy cars, but there's one big difference. You could yell at the fans and wave at them because there's no noise.
Yeah, it was pretty special, standing at the grid. You have standing starts in Formula E, and before the race, you can actually hear the fans on the grandstand. And there's no one, revving up the engine or anything. You're just completely quiet, and then you go. But it was nice. I think it was Formula E and IndyCar are one of the few championships that actually have a positive growth the last couple of years, and it was cool to be part of that. I was there 2 of the 5 years they run it, and the championship took big steps during the time I was there, and now come to IndyCar, and I feel it's the same way here. There's new fans coming, younger fans, and just a constant increase of interest every day. And that's not pretty rare nowadays, actually.
What was it like the first time you came to the Speedway? You got in the car and you took a ride. What was that like?
It was actually in Indy Lights a couple of years ago. I remember when I jumped out, I said, this beats everything I've done, even if it was only in Indy Lights.
Indy Lights is pretty tough series.
Yeah, they're pretty fast. I mean, we did that day, Zach Veach did the first time 200 miles an hour, which is not too far away from what we do, and I think that car kind of gives you not the same comfort as an Indy car, so it felt pretty quick. But yeah, I think the race itself, that's where I really, having done the race this year, it just blew me away when you walk to the car through Gasoline Alley on the race day. Normally I never get blown away by having a lot of people, or I never really look at people at the grandstand when I drive, but that day you can't really ignore the fact that there's almost 500,000 people sitting around the track
cheering for you. What's that like when they introduce you and the fans cheer? That's got to be kind of neat. They know who you are, recognize you, and appreciate what you do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I'm still pretty new to many fans here. Hopefully, we'll have some good results soon and make my name a bit bigger here in the States. But you can see, when you hang out with Dario or Scott, that people remember here what you've done. And when you hang out with Dario, he gets like attacked by people all around, Indianapolis and even other states. So it's cool that it brings kind of heritage.
Do you like the short tracks like we were going this week in Iowa?
Yeah, I tested there a couple of weeks ago. It's a very short lap.
It's quick.
It's something different. 17 seconds, one lap. Makes you kind of dizzy when you jump out of the car, but anything with four wheels is fun, and this is very different from anything I've done before.
Well, you needn't worry. There'll only be 19 or 20 other guys on the track with you, so you won't be alone.
Yeah, there's nothing like free air on that track. I think you always, you have to look in your mirrors, you have to look forward, you have to look inside, outside, it's just a constant, it's like Indy 500, but just shorter and tighter, and I think everything probably happens much faster. I don't really know because I haven't done it yet, but it's a cool little place for sure.
You'll see. I like watching. I didn't drive. I couldn't fit in the car, number one, and if I did, I couldn't get out. I never drove, but one of the tracks I thought was really good, I hope it's going to join the series, is Richmond. It's a little bit longer track, but it's fun. I like the short tracks. I wish they'd go back to the Milwaukee Mile again. That was a fabulous race. But does it take you a long time to get comfortable running ovals?
Yeah, for sure. I think it depends on the oval as well. Indy started off pretty good, then I had a big crash. The biggest crash of my life during practice. Then it took a really long time to get up to speed after that. I never felt so unmanly in my life the next day stepping into the car. I think I did like 215s, and the rest of the field were doing like 227s, and it took time to get through that, but that was good to have Dario with me at that time, and the whole team, supporting me and said, like, everyone's been there, it takes time, and going through that whole thing made me a lot stronger for sure. And then in the end, the race went really well. We had that wreck in the end where Ray Hall and Bourdais sort of tangled into each other. Not much to do there, but the race went really well. And then was Texas. I think that was a little bit harder than Indy. So let's see how Iowa goes. It's a completely different beast, more like a road course with two corners basically instead of a really big speedway. So yeah, but it's difficult for sure. But that's why I came. I want to do the challenge.
Most of the guys that I've talked to come from Europe like you have and get to Indianapolis say Indianapolis Motor Speedway is very similar to a road course because you got the straightaways, the turns, they're all four different. When you look at it, you don't see it, but when you're in a car, you can feel the difference. and they say it's really not that much different than a road course.
Yeah, I think definitely the mentalities from a road course is there, like how you take the corner. It's more like a 90-degree corner, as you say. I think then when you race, it's always different. That's where the oval's always going to be completely different from a road course, and everything you learn you can sort of throw in the bin because, you know, with the drafting and you know, strategy and all that, it's just going to be way different. But yeah, Indy was definitely, I think, if you only, like some guys like Connor Daly, for example, who tend to do only, you know, a couple of ovals per year, I think Indy is probably the one that is easiest if you only do one.
Well, he'll be out racing with him this weekend. He just announced that he's with Cage. He's driving for Carlin, and Sage Karam will be there as well as him. So Carlin's got 2 cars this week. So that just adds one more for you on a 3/4 mile track. So you have to look for one more car this weekend. How different is running in Europe compared to America? I mean, what's the biggest difference in racing here as opposed to there?
Well, I think the mentality is obviously different. I think in Europe it's more of a hostile environment between the drivers. There's not as much friendship going on between drivers and especially teams. You know, here you see the teams kind of, you know, you can tell already when we fly to the race, we share a charter together with Carpenter, Andretti, and Schmidt. You know, and that's something you wouldn't just never do in Europe. Then I think everything is a bit more open. It's more focused here about having good racing, and even sometimes, you know, if someone's dirty on track, they kind of let it go because it's good for the fans, it's good for the racing, and something to get used to. But I like the mentality. You know, sometimes you're in the car and someone does something to you, and you're like, come on, why don't you penalize this guy? For example, Takuma Sato, I had some instances this year with him, but then in the end of the day, if you look at the whole picture, it's good for racing, and that's the only thing that matters. You know, if the fans are happy, that's, you know, in the end of the day, that's what it is.
Yeah, but you'd like to be happy, and I think you look like you enjoyed Toronto. You qualified well. I think what you finished 5th.
Yep.
Yeah, you had a good race.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, we were actually top 3 every session until the race, so a little bit disappointed we didn't take our first podium there. I think that's been a long wait for that one, and hopefully we'll still have some good places coming up, like Mid-Ohio. I think Laguna Seca will be a good track for me, but yeah, definitely want to take a podium before the end of the year. But yeah, Toronto was good. Just, again, you know, tough races. IndyCar is always super tough. If you lose a couple of positions in the start, it's kind of hard to get back, especially on a street course. But yeah, it was been quite on a run the last couple of races with top 6 finishes.
Well, the thing that always intrigues me is drivers will interview me and say, oh, this place, it's almost impossible to pass. And then somebody passes 1,700 cars. How did you do that? Obviously, someone pit stops, but you guys, when you see an opening, you take it. If it's there, go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something with IndyCar, like the mentality among many drivers is, you know, they just try everywhere, and it works, and there's respect between the drivers, so people can actually throw it in without having major crash. I mean, at least many times it works, and that's pretty cool. I think also IndyCar has done a great job with the aero kits, allowing people to race closer. You saw a couple of years was sort of more running behind each other, and now we have actually, I think Toronto was probably the least passing we had, but all the other races have been fantastic, and yeah, we're spoiled to have so good racing all the time.
How have you acclimated to living here in America, primarily? You're not here 12 months a year, I don't think. But how do you like living in Indianapolis and living in America?
I think it's good. You know, I have my girlfriend here with me, so that's made it a lot easier.
That was a good move.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm used to living everywhere, to be honest. I've lived in, you know, in Monaco, in Sweden, in Japan, in China, in Shanghai. So, you know, I've always been on foot, so it feels normal to me, and it's actually pretty nice, you know, not having to travel as much as I did the last couple of years to have a base here, and, you know, just sort of have some free time on the weekends as well. Something that I'm not used to for sure.
Is the food much different here than what you're used to, what you grew up with?
The portions are very different. It's so hard to know like how much food you'll get. Yeah, I tend to always order too much. That's probably the biggest difference.
Oh well. So you're actually, what's it like to be a teammate with Scott? Is he helpful? Does he work with you and tell you what you got to look out for at a particular track and stuff? Do you guys work together?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's actively teaching me stuff. I think just by observing him, you always learn something. And I'm really impressed by just the fact how good he is. I mean, I had some seriously good teammates in my past, and I always felt like I could beat all of them. But I think with Scott, it's I mean, even on my best day, it seems like he can always, squeeze in the last couple of attempts to beat you, and it makes you happy when you're quicker than him for sure. I think his big strength is the race, where he almost tends to do some magic sometimes. But I've never learned more than I have right now, and he's a super cool dude as well. You never feel like there's anything strange between, like, you can have teammates where you never talk, or you just want to, you're each other's worst enemies, basically, and it's completely the opposite with Scott. So,
a friend of mine had a company, or worked for a company that sponsored, and I can't remember who it was, in Formula One. I mean, and they spent a pittance, but it was like $50 million a year. And I said, "Did you ever meet the driver?" No. "Did you ever get invited to the garage?" No. "Did you ever come and to your company and give it?" No. You never see anybody. Whereas in IndyCar, the doors are open, the paddock's open, fans attack you, or not attack you, but approach you. And it seems to me, from what I've seen, you're a guy that doesn't mind that. As long as you're not putting your hat on, if somebody wants to say hello or take a picture, you're willing to stop.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that goes for all of the people sitting here tonight. I mean, if you're around the paddock, I mean, feel free to, if we're there, feel free to talk to us. And we have quite a lot of free time during the weekends, to be honest. We're always working with our engineers, but I mean, I think it's in all of our interests. As I said before, we are also race fans by heart, the drivers, and we want the fans to enjoy, and we feel like it's our responsibility for the people to have a good time. And having been to Formula One races where you can't get within 1,000 feet of a driver, it's pretty cool to see how different it is.
One of the reasons I've been wanting to get you here is so people get to know you and myself. I mean, I've seen you, watch you, and I don't usually come up and interrupt, let the fans talk to you. But I want people to see who you are and what makes you tick a little bit, so that next time they see you this weekend, they'll say, "Oh, I just saw him Tuesday night." Do you spend a lot of time working out? I know Scott owns every record that PitFit has, I think. I mean, everything that they do, he holds the record for. But what do you do during the week when you're here? Do you go to the gym a lot?
Well, I say I do, but I'm not sure. I think honestly, I'm probably not the guy who spends the most time in the gym, but I'm fit. I'm fit enough to drive. Like last week in Toronto was a proper workout. St. Pete this year was that was probably the eye opener for me. Like, I need to get more fit driving in the car. But since then, I stepped up my training. My girlfriend is actually, I'm not going to PitFit. She's actually taking care of my training program for me. So that's pretty good. And cheaper for sure.
Yeah, and just looking at her while she tells you something, better than looking at Jim O'Leal, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's much fitter than me.
Oh, do you ride? I know Connor and Alexander ride in their neighborhood wherever they live, up north side somewhere. Do you ride a bike a lot or at all?
No, nothing.
Do you run at all?
Yeah, occasionally on the treadmill. Yeah, I mean, I think you can tell I'm probably not the guy to talk about training with.
That's fine. All people want to know that you can stand up, you can walk, and if they ask you for an autograph, you're there.
Exactly. That's what matters.
Do you get a good following back home in Sweden? Do people know? Do the sports people keep up with your career, what you're doing?
For sure. I mean, specialists is Marcus Ericsson is here this year as well. You know, he drove Formula One for the past 5 years, and I think when both me and him moved to IndyCar at the same time, that really took all the eyes from F1 to IndyCar back in Sweden. So it's been huge, I would say, more than expected, and all of seeing all the Swedes, you know, sitting up 2 a.m. and watching on Sundays and Saturdays, it's pretty amazing actually. And I heard I think it was Jay Fry told me that the amount of people downloading the new IndyCar app, it was like 30% Swedes. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I should have said something to Veronica. I should have asked her to have you bring some, what they call hero cards to autograph them. Oh, they did. Oh.
We got him.
It's a good thing I didn't say anything then. She just said, I know that. So let that be known on his way out. You want an autograph, he's got some cards. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to do that. What's been the most fun about IndyCar for you since you've been, and you haven't been here but half a year actually, what's been the most fun for you? What have you enjoyed the most about IndyCar and racing?
I think, honestly, the racing has to be the thing, just proper, pure racing, you know, wheel to wheel, every weekend. It's just kind of hard to come by these days. I spent so many years of my career driving just behind another car or in front of another car and just not much going on. But it seems it's almost hard to get used to that you always have to keep looking in your mirrors, you have to be aggressive, you have to be smart, keep your car in one piece. But yeah, that's really, you know, triggered that almost like when you were back in go-karts and just good fun racing all the time.
And it seems to me that most of the drivers are gentlemen. A strange word to pick, but again, like you say, you got to watch because you give somebody like Takuma Sato an inch, he'll take it. And Alexander will too. And I'm sure you will. I've noticed when somebody gives you a slip a little bit, you stuck in there. Does open wheel racing concern you with the wheel stuff, or is that just part of it?
It's just part of it. I mean, I've always done Formula cars, and you know, it's something you don't really think about. I mean, we have some new stuff coming up now in IndyCar with the aero screen. I'm not sure when it's going to be implicated, but there's some big steps being taken on the safety side with safer barriers and this new device. I think, you know, when all that is in place, we have almost as safe. I mean, I don't think there's any championship in the world that's safer than that, even considering the speeds we have. And I like the danger as well. You know, it's also part of what makes it fun, but it has to be, you know, to eliminate the freak accidents and, you know, and just make the car safer. And I think IndyCar is on a really good level with that.
The only thing I'm concerned about the picture I saw, because I asked when they put that little piece in the front, I said, you guys got to be putting a halo. No, it's not. Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay. But I don't know. You went around when Hinch got hit with a spring, knocked him unconscious. It knocked him out, and of course, Justin Wilson lost his life by getting hit by something. So, you know, it seems to me that IndyCar is really going over backwards, spend a lot of time, effort, and money making the cars safe for you, and they fly apart. But that's what they're supposed to do. You absorb the concussion, and you had a pretty good shunt at the Speedway, and you walked away and you ran the race. A little nervous when you got back in, but that's to be expected.
I mean, it was incredible. I mean, the force that goes through your body, I mean, you close your eyes and you don't know, like, if you're going to come out on the other side. But, you know, I actually didn't even have a bruise because even the seats, like the material we use for the seat, is such a, I mean, I think it's like $5,000, the material for one seat. And you're like, oh, wow, why do we spend $5,000 on this? And it just looks like foam. But I could understand that on the Speedway why. It's really incredible how well everything does its job in that situation.
Yeah, it's fun for the fans, although I don't know. I think a number of years ago when I first came around, people came to see accidents because they were aluminum cars, aluminum tubes, and you hit something that just shriveled. And I don't think they're now looking for that. They're looking for competition, and I think IndyCar, without question, is probably the fastest, most competitive motorsport in the world. Even Formula One, which is a great sport, and they get hundreds of millions of dollars behind it. When Ferrari and Michael Schumacher were together, they won everything. Now Lewis Hamilton's winning most of it. I mean, it's kind of a parade, whereas IndyCar, you never know it. There's 22 guys that can win the race.
Yeah, I mean, every team, I would say there's still probably 4 outstanding teams that over the course of a year will most likely win the championship. But the difference in IndyCar is that you have every team fighting for a podium almost every race. I mean, we had last race, Ed Jones was up there fighting for a podium initially in the race. He was in Fast 6, and he's with Carpenter, which, they have a limited program. And that's pretty cool for me. I mean, when someone who's not there on the same premises as, for example, Ganassi or Penske or Andretti, when they can still be up there and do the same lap times in qualifying as our teams, that's something you don't come across in any other series for sure.
What's it like driving for Chip Ganassi?
You mean the person or the team?
No, him.
No, he's good fun actually. He's straight to the business for sure. I mean, many people told me he's difficult to work with, or he's very honest. But I think that's pretty cool. I never heard him, sort of say anything great. It's very black and white. It's do this, do that, be better at this. And I think he has a way to work with the team and motivate the team. And it's hard to explain, but if you spend a day or a weekend with the team, you can tell why all the mechanics, the engineers, and the people we work with have been there. Most of them have been there for more than 10 years because Chip has taken care of them and he cares about them and he's very passionate. I mean, he visits every race. I mean, in both IndyCar and NASCAR, as many as he can, and sometimes he even goes to both. So
this weekend he did.
Sorry?
I think last weekend he did.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that passion is pretty hard to ignore.
Well, I think once you talk to him and hang around him, there's one thing he likes to do, and that's win. And between he and Mike Hall, if Mike needs it, they make it happen. And it's shown 5 championships. It's a very successful team, and you sign on with a good team, obviously, and give you the best chance for you to win.
Yeah, I mean, that's, whenever we need something, on the development side, or, if we feel that we are lacking in some area, Chip is always the first to say, okay, guys, let's go for it, let's close the gap, let's try to win. You can feel that we're not there to just participate. We're always trying to get one step ahead, and that's what you want as a racing driver.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think when it was first announced that you were coming, the number of emails I got that said, Scott, better be careful, this young man can drive a car. And you have shown that you are capable. I think once you get your feet under your, and if you're familiar with the tracks that some of you run before, but get the feel of you're going to be somebody to contend with, and I wish you well. And I think everybody else does here as well.
Thank you.
Did you say you tested at Iowa?
Yes.
And you notice that the safer barrier goes all the way around. There's not a concrete wall. It's all safer barrier.
Because it's always turning.
Well, you're going so fast you haven't got time to straighten out, you'll spin the car out. We wish you well. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you coming because I've been trying to get you for some time. And I will try again sometime maybe after the season. Are you here after the season or do you go back to Sweden?
I'll be here for a couple of weeks. Yeah, so.
All right, maybe I'll chase you down at the end of the season, see how you did, what you thought, how your year went.
Good. Thank you. And thanks everyone for coming.
Felix Rosenqvist. Keep an eye on this weekend. You've got the number 10 blue car, NTT car. Keep an eye on it. If you want an autograph, he brought some cards. Feel free to go up and see him, pester him, that's fine. Want to remind you next week, Felix's good friend will be here. His guest also from Sweden, Marcus Ericsson, driving for Aero Schmidt-Peterson Racing with the mayor as his teammate. And Jack Harvey will be here. Until next week, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next week, good night.